and welcome back to Bookish Theories. In today's video, we'd like to talk about JIMIN's Semi-Free Part 2, focusing on a little breakdown and analysis of the lyrics and the music video to see what they can tell us about the concept of this solo debut. Semi-Free Part 2 is a song co-written by JIMIN himself that expresses his resolution to set himself free by overcoming all his pain and suffering. As a pre-release that also acts as the closing song of the album, Semi-Free Part 2 is meant to be the culmination of JIMIN's inner journey. It's a powerful track conveying an explosion of feelings, so the intense performance shown in the video portrays JIMIN's entire experience as he learns to walk on his own. Now, the title of the song informs us that this is a part 2, even if a part 1 doesn't technically exist, but as many people already figured out, JIMIN confirmed that it's indeed a reference to Suga's interlude Semi-Free. Even if the two songs are not connected and were never meant to be one the sequel of the other, JIMIN decided to make his song a part 2 because of the subject matter. Back in interlude Semi-Free, Augusti expressed his desire to be set free from a vicious cycle that was leading him to self-destruction. He was driven by his ambition towards unattainable goals, while also realizing that those goals weren't what he wanted to begin with. Back in that song, Suga found no resolution to his pain because the track ended exactly like it began, but as it turns out, this is where JIMIN's part 2 actually comes into play. In comparison, JIMIN's track does have a resolution because it's about him finally achieving this freedom and being able to move forward. As he said himself, the album as a whole is about him looking back on himself. Face is described as a reflection of vulnerable minds and unexposed wounds, but most importantly it's a reflection of how he healed from those wounds, which is what allows him to fly free like a butterfly. As the culmination of this journey, Semi-Free Part 2 is like an overview of JIMIN's personal story. It's a look on the past that is meant to show how he overcame this pain, but also to honor his past self for all the struggles that he survived. In the lyrics, for instance, JIMIN compares his experience to being trapped in a maze, and this is an imagery that is very common in BTS's music. As a general metaphor for life and its twists and turns, the maze has no real exit if not the one that you created through a change of mindset. In line with this symbolism, JIMIN describes his rebellion as going insane in order to stay sane. You see, the only way to achieve freedom from this maze is for you to free your mind. You have to embrace the pain of the past, overcome it, and live as your true self with or without the approval of others. Very fittingly, this line is also a direct reference to On, which in turn explained that this specific type of insanity also involved throwing themselves whole in both worlds. Being part of both worlds here means understanding that we are made of both light and darkness, and this is an essential step because to keep that darkness in check, we kinda need to acknowledge it first. As the map of the soul showed us, the only way to achieve self-realization is to accept the shadow as a part of yourself. Confronting the pain the shadow represents and embracing it is the only way to truly overcome it, and this is a concept that BTS first introduced all the way back in Blood, Sweat and Tears. In order to set yourself free, you first need to understand what is trapping you, so in On, BTS carried themselves into a beautiful prison and embraced the pain in order to conquer it. Now if we take a look at Semi-Free Part 2, the prison imagery comes back stronger than ever because the setting of the video is actually inspired by the Panopticon, which is a design regarded as the quote-unquote perfect prison. First conceptualized by British philosopher Jeremy Bentham, the Panopticon is a circular structure divided into squares that are meant to be prison cells. At the center of this structure, the design included a tower for the guards which would allow them to control the inmates at all times, but in turn the guards themselves would have been protected by blinds. In this way, the inmates wouldn't know if they were being watched or not, thus giving a sense of invisible omnipresence. Now, at first glance, the setting of the video is only inspired by this structure because the shape is similar, but there is no all-seeing tower in the middle of the room. This, however, is not entirely correct because, in a sense, the tower is represented by JIMIN himself. Hear me out. In the second half of the song, JIMIN reveals his chest covered in German writings, which are actually lines from the religious poem Widening Circles by Rainer Maria Rilke. In the poem, Rilke compares his search for wisdom as living life in widening circles that reach out across the world. The only circle that he can never complete, however, is God, which in the poem is described as the primordial tower he willingly surrenders to. Now, if we apply the poem to the setting, this means that it's God, the invisible tower of JIMIN's Panopticon, but since this is an inner journey, is JIMIN himself the one who represents it? Bear in mind, in the map of the soul, the center is occupied by the self, and Jung defined the self as the image of God. In the psyche, the wholeness of the self is the closest thing that can be humanly compared to the wholeness of God, so JIMIN is both the tower and the one circling around it. Just like in On, BTS willingly entered entered this beautiful prison, this process is necessary for Jimin to free himself. He has to face this judgment, confront this shadow, because that is the only way for him to become whole. As Jimin himself explained, this process is all about gaining autonomy. It's about him taking agency, because at the end of the day, the only person who can free him is himself. By the end of the video, it seems that Jimin succeeds. The dancers lift him up, he reaches out to the sky, and when he comes back down, Jimin is now dressed in white. This is a detail that perfectly represents the meaning behind the song. According to Jimin, the track has the energy of a light in the darkness. While making it, he pictured a ray of light brightening the shadows, so in the video we see Jimin becoming that light after setting himself free. To see how Face will show us this journey to freedom, we'll have to wait and see, but in the meantime, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please think about liking and subscribing. As always, thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.